It's amazing to have these guys here, and they're going to essentially give you guys some game, uncensored, uncut from start to finish, and then we're going to do like a Q&A style where you guys are going to be able to ask them questions as well. And yeah, it's gonna be a good old time tonight, guys. Make some noise. Who's excited?
Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. Who is excited?
Come on.
There we go. All right, cool, guys. Well, aside from that, we're gonna give it up. We're gonna let Hector start us off, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So
come on, give it up for Aria, everybody. Aria just sold me a deal in at Avondale Estates that was an off-market deal that we're probably gonna do 6 figures on. The estimated profit on that deal is gonna be, I think, $140,000. And it all came from a networking event. We were in Vegas. It was a room a little bit bigger than this, but we sat down next to each other. Andrew was in the table, Vince was in the table, and we were talking. And I asked him, "What do you do?" He asked me what I did, and we just started networking like what we're doing today. And I think, what was it? A couple months later, he sold, or not even that long. Weeks later, we ended up buying another off-market deal from him in Ackworth, Georgia, and we ended up making, I think, $80,000 on that deal, and it was all because of an event like this. So, guys, I encourage you, man, make sure that you are not silent in these events. Go up to somebody, ask them questions, ask them what it is that they do, what it is that they want to get into, what market they're in. There's people here from all walks of life. There's people that are contractors. There's people that are investors. There's agents that are very, very successful. I'm looking at you, Stacey Wyatt. And there's people out here that are literally just ready to partner with you on your first flip, on your first rental property, Airbnb, whatever it is that you want to do, or even scale your own business, whether it's contractor or whatever. And I believe that synergy and just business can come out of this room. And so my goal for tonight is just to leave you with so much value that you just leave this room and want to come back and bring a friend. So we want to make the best REI meetup in Atlanta, period. And so I know there's a bunch of them, but we're going to be the best. Can you put your hands together for that? Come on. I mean, I just... Like Aria was saying, man, there's people out in the West Coast that are crushing it with these meetups, and why not us, right? So why not us? So there's a lot of people here that are incredibly successful, and we just want to highlight their stories and highlight what they do. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Hector Martinez, and I am the owner and founder with my partner Vince of Madewell Offer, and also known as UJAM Group. So we've been flipping houses for the last couple of years now, and it's been a blessing. God has blessed us tremendously, and we're just blessed. And so it's time for us to give back, and this is a way that we're doing it. Next to me, we have Andrew Schultz, and so I just want him to quickly introduce himself. I'm going to get into his story in a minute, and then to my right, I have a good friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, Fernando, who's a realtor. That's I want him to share his story quickly, and then we're going to get into his story. And these guys have just insane knowledge to share with you guys about how you can increase your sales, increase your customer base. If you're a realtor, just so many things. And of course, my brother Vince, he's going to be sharing just on a lot of different things that you can do to implement to increase your wholesale operation and just so many different things. So we'll just see what happens. We ready? All right. So Andrew, why don't you share a little bit about who you are, what it is that you do, and then we'll turn it over to Fernando and we'll get into it.
Perfect, yeah. I'll give the cliff notes. So I own an agency here in Atlanta. We work with real estate investors and agents across the country. We also work with a lot of influencers in the real estate space. So people like Ryan Pineda, Hamza Ali, Kong, Sam Prim, and a few other people. I think the combined total following for all of them is over 10 million. So we work with a lot of people, and right now we're spending multiple 6 figures a month with all these people profitably. So we just do marketing in every vertical of real estate, and excited to be here and share some of the stuff that we're doing that's helping our clients get deals. So you could take this today and apply it, make some more money. buy another car or something, or do whatever you want with it.
Come on. Hey, before I turn it over to Fernando, I forgot to acknowledge the people that made this happen tonight. Doug and Lisa, would you guys raise your hands real quick? Doug, Lisa, thank you all for hosting us. We appreciate it. They are realtors. You want to make sure you shake their hand before you leave. Don't leave this room without shaking their hand. They're just amazing. They've been partners of ours, and we've been doing some work together. And so we appreciate you guys, and thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. So, Fernando.
My name is Fernando Chaverria. I've been an agent. This is my 6th year. I started a team last year, and it's been an agent selling, and I do social media. That's where I get most of my leads and just referrals. I am one of those agents that I hate cold calling. I hate door knocking. It's not my style. It's not my thing. I've done it, and I've found success through social media and then a lot of inbound calls. That is mainly why I was asked to be here, and maybe just share what I do, and maybe hopefully some of you guys can take some of these nuggets and just apply them to your business.
Absolutely. Vince, you want to say a couple words?
Yeah, so testing. Yeah, so my name is Vince Finn. I'm Hector's partner in Mayweather Offer in UJAM. We've been business partners for about 3-4 years now. We have a fixing flip operation, and we do wholesaling. I think my superpower is more so just implementing and operational things, just making sure that I'm connecting the dots. And I think, especially as we in this market cycle of just trying to keep up with all the different things that are being thrown at real estate investors and things. So it's super important to just have your hand on the pulse and being super like connecting the dots and implementing new things and trying new strategies and seeing what sticks and what works for your business. Once upon a time, you can change your cycle or your strategy every 3 months. Now you have to look at it every month and see what's working and what's not working, and being quick and making that transition. So.
Yeah, so, we're going to have an open Q&A, for anything relating to real estate, wholesaling, fix and flips, Airbnbs, whatever. But tonight's kind of focus is around the social media visibility topic, right? So we have a couple guys that, one guy to my right had a video go viral, 53 million views and counting. On TikTok, 3.5 million views on Instagram.
20 million.
20 million. I'm sorry. Jeez, I apologize. 20 million and counting. And I want him to talk about how he leveraged that for his business. And then to my left, we have somebody, again, that runs the platform for the guys that are doing what we're doing on a very high level and have, caused the effect of, the growth that these guys have had. I mean, I remember following Ryan Pineda when he was probably 15,000 followers, right? Me and Vince joined his mastermind with about a group less than this size. And now he's got over 350,000 followers. That's just on Instagram. And then on I think TikTok, how many followers does he have?
It's like 1.3 or something like that.
1.3 million followers across all social media platforms. And the guy talks about, being visible on social media and how he leveraged that. Well, Andrew's the guy that made it happen, right? And so Andrew was very instrumental on how he strategized for Ryan and how he was able to put them on the map, right? In terms of PPC and using pay-per-click and ads and funnels and social media strategy. And so we're going to get into that. But that's kind of the focus here tonight is I really believe in the power of social media and how it's just brought to Vince and I's business just so much. I mean, I think a lot of you guys probably came to the event just by following me or following one of these guys, and you came and, that there's power in that. Vince and I think in the last 2 years, we raised over $2 million on social media alone. I'm talking like just posting what we're doing, posting our flips, posting our HUD statements, posting certain things, and creating conversations in that space. And I think that if you're in this room and you're not posting about what's happening tonight, you're missing out, because people are going to ask you questions. They're going to want to get involved, and you never know what can happen. So we're just gonna kind of go into this thing, and then I'm gonna pause for a minute, give Andrew an opportunity to share. Actually, why don't we do that first? Why don't we go straight to Andrew's kind of presentation? I don't know if Nash is here, but we'll need somebody to click that computer back there. Is Nash, are you here? I don't see you. Or Dimitri? Or Max? Would you mind?
Somebody.
Well, it's connected to her Mac in the back, so probably need to connect it. No, it's like her actual laptop in the back there.
Oh, gotcha.
That's me. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me now. Hector Martinez.REI. You can scan the QR code. Yeah, her presentation his presentation should be there.
Yeah, we'll jump.
Keep going.
We'll jump around it. Go quick.
Keep going. You're gonna see his presentation. You might need to call Nash actually. It's on there. I'm sorry.
We can come back to it.
We'll come back to it. But Andrew, why don't you start us off? Why don't you kick us off? Just on anything that I've shared.
Yeah, I mean, I think, marketing's going to always get more expensive. So the more ways you can get free eyeballs is going to be paramount, especially going into a competitive market. Obviously, houses aren't selling as fast as they used to. In real estate, it's just a frequency game. Like when you're driving down the road, you see 1,000 Mark Spain billboards, and there's a reason why, is because whenever you do figure out you need to sell or buy, you're going to remember the last thing you saw. It's like I see a lot of people in real estate that don't necessarily want to post on social media because I'm never going to get a lead on TikTok. But then time and time again, you even heard you can raise money on TikTok. We've had clients raise millions of dollars from kids who see a TikTok and show their parents who have capital to deploy. On Instagram, Instagram, everyone's on Instagram. Anything you post on Instagram goes to Facebook automatically. So all these free platforms you have, you got it? Yeah. You can tap into. So let's see. So I'm gonna go quick through it because we don't have a ton of time. If you want the slides, I'm gonna go over some stuff we do for our clients that you can copy. Scan the QR code, it's all yours, completely for free. And we'll come back at the end for the QR code as well, but we'll give everyone a second. So obviously right now we're in a recession, whether you like it or not. I don't like it, but it's just how it is. And there is a huge opportunity for people to make a lot of money with what's going on. So I'm going to cover just quickly, if you have a website, if you're running ads, if you're not running ads, you're going to want to after this. Just some really simple things you can implement to literally start seeing results for tomorrow. Next slide. So we kind of cover this. You might be thinking, who am I? This crazy guy speaking. Just kind of a quick overview. So again, we're spending multiple six figures per month for agents, investors, and then also people who are influencers. Work with people nationwide across every single market. Markets where houses are 50,000 all the way up to 500 to 1.5. These are some of the people we work with. Again, we reach over, 10, 20, 30 million people a month. And, right now, everyone that comes up to me, they're all doing some sort of cold calling. How many, by raise of hand, is doing cold calling and SMS to get leads? Only 3 people? All right, so that's not bad. So you have to start marketing because the government does not want you to win at all. Right now, all these regulations are going in place. If you have before a year ago, it was great. You get a number blacklisted, just get a new one. You're running a campaign tomorrow. Right now, every new number going into effect in the summer has to have an LLC and EIN attached to it. And that does not just happen instantly. It takes time, it takes money. So all these outbound big SMS blasts are getting more and more strict. And then even cold calling. How many of you have cold called someone and they don't get the call at all because the iPhone says spam? Probably a lot of us. So you have to either get ahead of this or one day you're going to wake up and you can't do any outbound. So let's skip the website part. You could go back to the slides. I just want to skip to the ad part because I think that's going to be the most impactful for a lot of people. So going. Perfect. All right, so here's some of the things we're running with our ads. You go to the next slide. That are working really well. So typically when people are running ads, they're targeting sell my house, buy a home, sell for cash, best agent near me. Those are the wrong things to target because you have big people like Mark Spain, you have really big brokerages that could just spend money without any concern on return. These are the things that you should be drilling into, and this information a lot of times comes directly from the calls you have with sellers. They're going to tell you your problem and then run ads around that. So the things that's most profitable right now, mortgage underwater. A lot of people bought homes they couldn't afford in the past year. Interest rate questions. It's not 2% anymore. People are questioning, we were literally running ads on, what's the current interest rate on that keyword. Very low competition, and then you do it to your local market. People are obviously checking that because they want to know, is it a good time to buy? Question was home equity. Again, people bought stuff they couldn't afford. They might be underwater. They have questions about equity because in 2021, we didn't have the luxury to understand what we were buying. We just bought it because if we don't buy it today, it's gone tomorrow. So a lot of people are not educated about this, which gives you as an opportunity to not just provide a solution, but also get paid for providing that solution. What is my home worth? This is my favorite keyword ever to bid on. And then we buy a website, homevalueatlanta.com, and then just have like a little form on it, give them a call. You will get so many leads from this without even trying. Should I sell my home? That's a very common question right now. If you haven't seen, 100,000 six-figure jobs have been wiped out. All these people are laid off. A good percentage of them bought homes within the last 3 years. They're wondering, should I sell my house? And
so, Andrew, real quick, so there's people obviously here that are real estate investors, agents, other people have different businesses. The heart of the message from this specific slide is create or find keywords that not everybody's targeting and how to do that, correct?
Right. Just take what is happening on your calls and run traffic to that. People could come in and there could be something brand new going on in the world. And if you can literally do this yourself. We've had clients where we're like, okay, people are talking about this and this is the reason they're selling. We get ads up the same day. Nobody's running ads on that for 6 months. So you have a 6-month advantage for something that's happening. It's tax season right now. A lot of people are dealing with tax issues. If someone has a huge tax bill, that does have implications on their home. They might have to sell to pay that bill. And the big thing is just having multiple ads solve multiple problems, not just going straight for the top because everyone's going to bid on that. And it's just a game of who could spend more. Current events. This is huge. If you don't want, I don't really like watching the news. I just use Google News, set up keywords for things going on. Unemployment's huge. And it's not like $10, $15 an hour jobs. It's $100, $200, $300, $400,000 a year jobs that they're going left and right. And these people have to sell their home. Or there's people that are in the reverse spot. They kept their job and they want to buy a home. Forbearance. Again, they can't pay their loan. This is something that people are going through. This is my favorite one. So if you want to get ahead of this, the only person you'll be competing against is me, and there's still a lot of room for it. You can go to a bank that's local, like Delta Community, go to the page where you log in and manage your mortgage, copy that URL, paste it in Google Ads. You can run an audience to that. You can filter by homeowners. So if people can't afford their payments, what's the first thing they're going to check? Their mortgage. You can run video ads to those people before they even search, should I sell my house? Which is super powerful because you're getting that conversion before anyone else even does. Tech company layoffs. That's huge. When you see Microsoft bought that big ass, it's okay if I swear?
I don't care.
How many have been to Atlantic Station and seen that big building Microsoft has? It's empty. They laid everyone off. So all those people that have 6-figure jobs, what are they going to do? They just moved to Atlanta for that location. If you look, all these people from Rivian, the car company, all these people moved out there, laid off. Those people are potential people you can reach. Job sites. I mean, ethically, hit or miss, But you can run ads to people who go to LinkedIn, Indeed, all that. If people are laid off, they're going to look for another job. So, and you can filter by household income, if they have a home, if they're renters, all that. So again, like with YouTube ads, we do this a lot, and we're starting to ramp it up. Instead of running on TV, put it on YouTube. It's the new TV. Everyone watches YouTube. If people have questions on Google, they'll see your ad on YouTube because Google owns all these platforms. So run ads to people who visit your competitors. I'll show you at the end how to do this. It's hilarious. It just works. People get on the call and be like, oh, like I was searching up this guy, and then I saw your ad, and I called you. The funniest thing ever. Run ads. Oh, go back. Very good. Run ads on news channels. I mean, it's hit or miss sometimes. Like you run to like Fox 5 Atlanta, you're gonna get people live in Atlanta. And again, you can filter by home ownership, household income.
These are low entry bids, right?
Yeah, because a lot of people just go for sell my house, buy a home, realtor near me.
And those are expensive to buy ads for those.
Yeah, like in some markets, like California, we pay up to like $300 per click, not lead, click, for sell my house fast. So this is how you get ahead of it.
So this is perfect for like if you're a wholesaler, you're starting to wholesale, trying to ramp up your wholesaling game. Instead of targeting what 1,000 other wholesalers are doing, what Andrew I think is talking about is targeting niche lists that only you have access to that real estate space in the digital world, essentially.
So this is a perfect example. One of the best lists that I've seen for like outbound is older people with a lot of equity. So I took all the local mortgage login pages you see here, Delta Community, Credit Union, Wells Fargo, mortgage managed accounts. And because when you search something on Google, even if you just have the website bookmarked, it counts it as a search. So check this out. Put all of those in. It's saying that the average age is 65 plus, which makes sense because it's a lot older people. And then weekly impressions. So you're not going to see a billion unique people, but people will view that page multiple times, and that compounds. And this is nationwide because you can get people all across the country who bank at these local places. And this is a huge one. Competitors, I mean, this is a joke, but literally people go to markspain.com, you can run ads to all those people. This is the funniest one. So any website that has Google Analytics, you can run ads to. The IRS uses Google Analytics. So when someone gets a letter from the IRS, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go to the website. Guess what? Tax liens. It's a big one. Any of those things, you can run ads to the people, go in there and check. And it makes sense. 35 to 44. Probably people who have made a lot of money in the past few years, now they're getting audited. Maybe there's something going on that there's a lien on their property. And then again, some of the things like with YouTube ads specifically, again, there's free resources online to show you how to do it. It's super easy to set these up. Like retirement, retiring soon, recently retired. Google has all the data that people have access to. If people are searching for retirement homes, if people are a certain age, if they're in a certain location, it can pull out that data together and allow you to target them. It's like people who are retiring soon, the audience works. Most people, they want to move to Florida, they want to get a condo on the beach or whatever. Here's another one, home renovation, job change, marriage, moving, all these different life events that you can reach before they even search for what anybody else would bid on.
I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but what's a healthy budget for, let's say, 3 categories? A real estate agent looking to increase their leads inbound to buy a house or sell a house to target some niche list like this, a real estate investor, and a wholesaler. What's a healthy budget for those 3 categories?
So like agents, anywhere from like a good starting place, $30 to $100 a day. So like a max $3K a month. Investors, it's going to be a little more just because there's a lot more people right now, $100 to $200 a day. But the cool thing is you spend $3,000 to $6,000 a month on it, you really just need one deal to cover all your ads. And the biggest advantage right now, we're having all of our clients do this. Go overseas to like Egypt, like don't actually go there, but like just hire, like to Egypt, Philippines, places where they have good English so you can't really tell. For $3 to $5 an hour, hire a 24/7 appointment setter. So when someone comes to your website, fills out the form, they get a call within 5 minutes. That is going to stop them from going to the 14 other postcards they have on their counter. It's going to stop them from clicking on the hundreds of other ads. If they get a human connection, they're going to work with you. Because the biggest thing is most sales teams work 9 to 5. Most people selling their homes also work 9 to 5. So when are they going to deal with this problem? When they get home at 6. So if your sales team's gone, you're banking on them being committed to you until the next day when they're at work. So it's just a game of cat and mouse. You get that 24/7 appointment setter for $3 to $5 an hour, get 3 of them to work 8-hour shifts. They fill that form out, they get a call right away. Like, oh, wow, that was fast. Like, tell me about your problem. And then you get an appointment set with an actual really good salesperson or to do a walkthrough. It's been a game changer for all of our clients doing it.
How many people here have a website? Raise your hand. Like you have a website for your business, realtor business. Raise your hand. I mean, that's more than half this room, I think. And if you don't have a website, I recommend you set up a website for your business or whatever. But I mean, this is great. Like, I think even in our business, we can implement something like this tomorrow.
Yeah. And then here's the craziest part. So go back one. So again, or go to the next one, sorry. So this is where it gets crazy. So you could target people by the industry they work in. So obviously, again, current events, a lot of tech layoffs. So people who work in the technology industry, which by the way they get this data is if you log into a secure server at work, they know exactly what the company is, what it does, your role, how much money you make because they see your deposits in your bank. They put all the information together for you to target.
Who knows that? YouTube?
Google, everything.
Google. Wow.
It's scary. They know what your mortgage balance is.
That's really scary.
They used to know your credit score. But so you could target technology industry and then go to the next one. You could filter by homeowners. Yep. And then you can stack them. So you could take homeowners who work in tech that are searching for resources for they just got laid off. And look at that. Right now, there's over 10 billion weekly impressions across the entire country. So if you're a wholesaler, you can virtually wholesale all these deals. You can see 21% of them between 35 and 44. And it'll tell you also other interests they're related to. But, this is a huge leverage point you can take today. If there's, maybe there's a hospital in the area that shut down, you could target all the people who work there with that and then searching for if they got laid off, they lost their job, they're going to Indeed, Glassdoor, whatever. And this will allow you to get in front of these people before they even search, because that's the last resort. No one really wants, if they get laid off, no one wants to sell their house. But if you're the first person there to give them multiple options, whether it's sell for cash, traditionally listing, an ovation, you're giving them multiple exits and they're not having to go to some pushy salesperson. And the relationship's a lot better. They're going to remember you. You're going to make a lot more money, and it's going to be way better off. And this specific audience, if you're running TV ads, just take your TV ad, run it to this audience. You're guaranteed to get leads. And on this last one, if you want to see what your competitors are doing, you can search for their name, and then if you click on the 3 dots next to their ad, it'll tell you who they're targeting. And then if you click on see more ads, it'll show you all the ads they're running. So you can literally see what some of the biggest people in the space are doing. And it also works on Facebook. So you go to the next one. You type in the company name, you can see all the ads they're running. Exact copy, everything. And it's all 100% free. And then that's all I have. Again, there's a whole section there about website stuff. We do a lot of websites. We help optimize a lot of websites. Definitely download the slides. It's going to give you a lot of free information you can implement or send to your team. And all this stuff you could go home, implement tonight, and then start seeing more leads coming in tomorrow.
So, Andrew, walk us through a story of a win that you've had utilizing this strategy with any of your clients that you're engaged with.
So, yeah, we had a client up north where they were doing the traditional pay-per-click, sell your house fast, and then a new big conglomerate like an iBuyer came in and just literally started spending millions of dollars a month because they don't care about making a return. They're just spending. So we started implementing some of these strategies, And in the first 30 days, they locked up 2 deals and walked away with $30K net profit. And those leads they would have lost because they were just getting outbid. But they got there first, and they didn't have to do anything different. Same amount of spend, same commercial they're running on TV. They just put it on a different place. And again, Google owns everything. So they're going to see it on YouTube, in your Gmail inbox, on your phone, everywhere. It's going to follow them till the end of time. And it's super cost effective right now because, again, a lot of like the medium to big companies that did overspend, they're pulling back because like, oh, we spent $10 million last year. We have no clue what we made. So all these big spenders are exiting the market, which means people are spending less, have an opportunity to actually close a deal.
So let's do a quick scenario. I'm a wholesaler. I'm trying to get some deals going this month. Last month I only had 1 deal. What would be your advice for that wholesaler sitting here like, man, I need to ramp up my marketing. I have some money to spare. What do I do? What would be the first step that person has to take? First
step, definitely get the 24-hour answering. That's the biggest thing. If you get people call back within minutes, you're going to convert way more leads without spending any more. I think the next thing is,
this is for inbound, obviously. Inbound marketing, inbound clients to your website.
Or outbound. Because if you call someone and they're at work, they're going to want to call back if they're interested. If your salespeople are gone at 5 and they get off work at 5:30, they're going to be like, okay, screw it. Well, I need to go do this anyways and search. Someone else took your lead. So like that's the first thing. It's super cost effective. The second would be, record videos, like go to your CRM or wherever you're contacting these people, take like the top 5 reasons people are selling in the last like 3 months, record a video for each one, take $100 a day, put it on YouTube to those audiences, and just start targeting those people.
So I'm a realtor. I want to get more appointments to sell or buy homes. Same process?
A little different. So, obviously everyone wants seller leads. Running video ads, targeting job changes, life events, those big. If you see on the news that a lot of people are migrating to a different state, run ads around search terms around moving to that state. If you want buyer leads, those are a little easier. You can just run regular PPC right now. It's not super competitive. You can also run, again, in the reverse. If people are moving to Atlanta, you could search moving to Atlanta as a keyword. I would just basically try to reverse engineer the reasons why people would move. So it's like if they're going to a better school, run ads on best schools in X location and just see what you get and just try a bunch of different stuff. Put them up there, leave them for a week. If you don't get leads, swap something else in. It's super easy and intuitive to do on your own. And again, like if you find something that does work, put as much money behind it as possible, and you will see an insane amount of lead flow. Because think of how much data Google owns. They own everything. So you could reach all those people.
So Vince, Fernando, feel free to chime in at any point in time. But we were talking about Ryan Pineda. What do you think has made him successful? What did you do in his business that took his lead conversion through the roof?
It's all about frequency. People right now on average need 200 touch points to do a conversion. So if you're posting 1 video a week, they're not going to necessarily, it's not going to really convert. People need to see you everywhere all the time in order to, especially in real estate, like no one plans to lose their job and sell a house, but you want to be top of mind when that situation happens and you need to sell to them. So like even if you get like 5, 6, 7 views on a video, it's much better for someone to see an ad, click on your profile, see hundreds of videos versus seeing like 2 videos.
So just a constant posting is what you think?
It's all frequency based. Even like what's the biggest rule with like outbound SMS and cold calling? It's the that and the follow-up. Like if you send 1 text to a lead and say, oh, they didn't respond, it's gone, how much money you're leaving on the table? It's the same thing with social media advertising. We want people to see this until they're so sick of seeing it, they either work with us or block us.
Yeah, and you spoke about the government restrictions that that came, and also the more that's coming for SMS messaging and text messaging. I mean, SMS messaging and cold calling. What are some of the challenges that, from a government standpoint, that you see on social media marketing and things like that?
So the biggest one is, how many by raise hand have iPhone? So Apple has enough money to ruin everyone else's money and have no regard. So back in 2020, they rolled out iOS 14, which made it so advertising platforms couldn't share data from the user. And that just completely, it shut down a lot of businesses. Facebook's lost hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue from it. Now they're doing the same thing with cold call and SMS. They don't care if all these wholesalers, cold callers, whatever, lose that business. They have enough, they have over $1 trillion in their bank, or billions of dollars in cash in their bank. They can do whatever they want. So they're going to keep doing it and build this privacy plan to where eventually it's going to get to a point where it's so good that when you send a text, it's going to go, I mean, even now, if you send a text and your number's not registered, it doesn't even go to the main messages. You have to swipe left and go to unknown senders. That's only going to get more and more. And on top of that, it's going to get more expensive. We have a client that did a bunch of outbound, and a bunch of people in the area found a lawyer and they did a class action, and it was a 6-figure fine because it is technically illegal to solicit like that. So all that's just going to get more and more compounded as more people do it. Because more, I mean, if you own a house, you probably get 100 postcards a month. Eventually that's probably going to become illegal. So it's a matter of time. All this is going to get restricted, and you have to have multiple lead sources. If one lead source goes, it's too late to start the other. You need to get ahead of it and not get left behind.
All right, so turning a little bit of a leaf here with Fernando to my right. So, you know, we're talking about visibility. We're talking about how to leverage our social media presence to just make money and grow our business. So why don't you share your story of what happened and kind of like your experience with social media and what it's done for you and your business?
Well, I would tell you that just piggybacking of what he was saying is, it seems like outbound touches or getting to people outbound is going to get even more and more restricted. So maybe before that happens, you should think about maybe having it come to you. Something that I'm big on is like social media. Last year, I posted like a vlog every day for 6 months. Some of them went viral. I was just trying stuff out, figuring out what I was going to do. But then again, it's the part where I think a lot of people get stuck because they're like, they see somebody else and they're trying to do the same thing that they're doing. I just went ahead and just started posting. And that's the thing. You're never going to get it perfect right away. It's never going to look pretty. It's never going to be perfect. You're not going to like how you sound in front of the camera. You're not going to like how you look. You're not going to like a lot of stuff. You just have, the hardest thing in the beginning is just to hit post. Is just send it. And like what I'm hearing from Andrew is, okay, people getting to the right client, and it seems like getting those leads are going to get more expensive. What can I do that I mean, everybody has a phone here. All the platforms are free. What can I do to just kind of grow the following? People come to me. I would tell you, as being in the business for 6 years, I've tried everything, and the thing that seems to work for me back over and over again is we run a business mostly based on referrals, and most of them do come from social media. We just had a client that we closed 2 weeks ago that we met at the closing table. I didn't even show him the house. I got a DM already pre-approved. They got with the seller. They knocked on the door, and they saw the house themselves. They sent me a DM. We wrote the offer. We negotiated. We met at the closing table. Like, that's when we met. Is that going to happen all the time? No, but my thing is that would have never happened if I would never put myself out there. And what I've been doing is just posting. And as you're posting, you're figuring out what goes, what doesn't go, and learning what each platform likes. Because the thing is, what a lot of people do wrong is they treat all the platforms the same, and they're all completely different. Like right now, TikTok is just, I noticed a big drop off in my views in the last like month and a half, because they're trying to be like YouTube. They're pushing longer content. So now I'm changing my strategy. Okay, when I post on TikTok, any good video is going to go, but how can I make my videos longer? And it's not so much about getting 10 videos out in a day. It's more about, okay, I got to get people hooked on the video, and they actually have to watch it, and they actually have to engage with it. Because if they don't, TikTok is not pushing it anymore. But see, now Instagram is trying to be everybody. Instagram's trying to just, they take over. They don't really have an identity. They're trying to be everybody, and they're confusing people. They're rolling out stuff all the time. They're making changes all the time. So, but you still got to treat it like a lead source. You still have to feed it. You still have to post. You still have to use all the things. If they roll out something new, go ahead and use it, because they're going to be pushing that, because they're going to want people to use it. So the thing is just getting consistent with posting, and then starting, even if you're like Andrew said, you get in 2 or 5, 4 views, someone clicks on your profile, what are they seeing? Like something that I see a lot on like, especially on TikTok, somebody will follow me, and then immediately after they follow me, I get, I go back and see the notifications, and they go back and start watching all my old videos and start liking all my videos. And then I'm getting likes on videos that I posted like so long ago. And I'm getting like one of the videos that I posted about, I want to say 6 months ago, is like, it went from having 10,000 views to almost having 500,000 views now. And I'm getting notifications, and it's just weird because, again, it's going back to, okay, people are finding my page. They are seeing my stuff. They saw the video, and you can tell on all these platforms how many people are going in your page and how many you're converting, you can say, because they hit the follow button. And then if someone doesn't hit the follow button, it's because they couldn't connect with the rest of your content. And as far as building a brand, you really have to post to think with the outcome you want. So if you want to be seen as like for me, my brand that I've built is just a family guy. I am a person that loves God, that I love my family, and I do real estate. You see what I'm saying? So that is just what I do. Am I trying to be like other agents? No, that's just the niche that I found, and it seems to work. I connect with a lot of people that have parents, their parents that have kids, and all the videos that do the best that I post are always the ones with my kids, and people seem to connect with that. Some people may feel uncomfortable about posting with your kids or whatever, that that's up to you. But I always say, you may keep them away from your social medias now, but when they get to an age, they're going to open them up and they're going to have it. So, and if you can use them now, if you have kids and they're cute, go ahead and use them now, because I'm telling you, there's just a thing about them. But I would say that is just think with the outcome in mind. Who do you want to be? Like, what kind of brand do you want? If you're trying to be a luxury agent, if you're trying to be the family guy, if you're trying to be, whoever, you got to start moving in that direction. Obviously, as you go along, it's going to change. Your brand is going to change. It's going to look different. And then you just have to find what works for you. And obviously you work on the systems and everything, but you're never going to have it right from the very beginning. And, there's the whole saying is it's better to get it done than to get it perfect. And that's how it is. You just have to start. And once, like Andrew said, once you see something working, you just double down on that. So you're like, hey, I see that I'm getting leads from this. And it's like, I personally add everybody that I meet on Instagram as much as I can, because it is just free. And a lot of people that, when you meet them, sometimes they're kind of weird about giving you your phone number. But their Instagram is public for most people, and it's easy just to get their Instagram. And to be honest with you, I reply faster to a DM than I do to a text message, because I have a lot of my database there, and I'm always interacting with people. And I think that's the part where a lot of people do it wrong, is that they post and then they forget about it. It is like they forget to be part of the community. Because see, when you're interacting, and you can stop me if I'm going too much, but the biggest hack that I can give people on Instagram and even Facebook, or even TikTok, not so much, is you're building communities within the group of Instagram. Like, what I mean by that is always liking people's posts, always commenting, always being active with those people, because you're telling the algorithm these two people like each other. they're always talking. This person always liking their post. This person's always liking this people. They're always going through their page. Every time I display in their stories, that's what the algorithm sees. This person clicks on it and they're watching it. And basically, when you post, the algorithm is going to push your stuff first. I don't know if you guys notice when you go on stories, it's the people who you interact with the most that show up first. So a lot of people, a lot of agents, even I found myself doing this too a lot, but I always go back and say, no, I have to like, even if it's something dumb, even if it doesn't make sense, still comment, slide up on the DMs. Most of the deals will happen on the DMs. They're not going to happen on the comments. They're not, because people, it's a private place where people ask serious questions and they're not up on everything. So don't get caught up on the comments. You should really be tracking your DMs because that's the personal conversations that you're having with people. And just building that community, and then also being very intentional. If you follow somebody that is a business owner or just somebody who just connects with people, or they just know a lot of people, or it's kind of like a gatekeeper in the industry you want to get into, start interacting with them on social media a lot. Because then when you post, your stuff is going to show up, and then they may not do business with you now, but they may know somebody that may know somebody. And the whole point of marketing is just being the first person, or being the first one that they get to whenever they decide to make a purchase or do a sell. And if you're in front of them all the time, that's how you're going to get leads. That's how you're going to get DMs from people that you didn't even show them a house. You did nothing. It was like the easiest deal. Just write the contract. We did the inspection, do the closing. So it's actually being understanding the apps, and also building communities within the apps, and understanding what the apps are doing. And yeah, just that.
So thank you for sharing that, Fernando. So we're gonna transition a little bit to a Q&A here in a second, but I want Vance and I to share just a little bit of our experience on social media and what it's done for our business. But here's the deal, guys. The deal is this: if you are a business owner, you're a wholesaler, you are a fix and flipper, you are a real estate agent, you're a broker, you're a lender. I was working the room before we got started, and there's people here that want to buy their first investment property. They want to start house hacking. If you are not connecting with people that are doing that on social media, you are missing out. So here's my biggest takeaway from everything that we just discussed. There's a lot of strategies. We talked about a professional setting, PPC, go all in on a paid advertising, and then free advertising if you were bouncing around the two conversations, right? But the reality is you have to put yourself out there, and you have to make sure you're talking to people. You have to, it's social media for a reason, because you need to be social. I think Gary Vee says this all the time. You need to be social and engaging in the community so that your business can pop off, right? So if my North Star, somebody taught me this in content creation, right? What's your North Star? Well, you got to ask yourself this question. What is your North Star? Is it getting more leads? Is it getting more traffic? Is it getting more sales? Is it getting more business? I know there's a good buddy of mine here. By the way, if you need your car detail, make sure you go to my guy, Daniel, back there. Daniel, raise your hand. And I'm going to use him as an example, because this guy, how old are you, Daniel? 18? 18. He runs a detail business for your cars. He does an amazing job. He does it to my truck and my other car, and he's amazing. But the one thing he does is he posts, and he's interacting with people on social media. And here's the reality, that people see him post on washing a truck. They're going to go to him first because he's the one posting about it. It doesn't matter if he's good or if he's scratching your tires, which he doesn't, by the way. But the reality is, it's like he's the one showing up. So, if you're wanting to get your first investment property, you should be hitting up and have a system. I would say, have a system of where you're hitting up 3 to 5 investors in your market, and you're having a conversation with them about how their day is going. Because one of them is going to tell you to get away. The other guy is going to not respond, and the other guy may engage with you. And that's how we've been able to really work a lot of deals, because we interact and engage with people, right, on social media. So we do the same thing for raising capital, right? We've been able to raise a lot of money just simply because we asked the question. And I bet you that there's people here in the room that are just too afraid to ask the question. Like, hey, got this project, I need capital. You'd be surprised how many people actually reach out to you and say, hey, how much do you need? Just because you're not asking the question. So a lot of it is a mindset, right? It's a mindset thing where it's like, oh, what is my cousin Joe gonna say about me posting this reel and wearing this shirt kind of conversation, right? And so we're afraid to post this content. But if you just get away from what people's perception of you is and what people say about you is and what people think about you is, believe me, you're gonna go far. And I think the people that, like the Fernandos of the world, that just straight up don't, I mean, I know he cares, but I'm saying he doesn't, I'm guarantee you he's not concerned about the opinions of people seeing him interact with his children or interact in his business. Or he recently posted in a golf cart the other day. It's like he doesn't care what people think of seeing him in a golf cart. He's just going to post it because now I know Fernando plays golf. And then there's a conversation that happens, right? So here's my thing. The takeaway from this should be, I need to get more active on social media. I need to start figuring out what my North Star is and how I can implement these strategies that Andrew talked about so that I can increase my inbound and my outbound calls. Sounds good? Cool. So Vince, why don't you share a little bit of your experience, our experience in terms of social media and what we've been able to do.
Yeah, so I mean,
and then we're going to do Q&A here in a second.
Yeah, the good thing for me is Hector does most of the posting, so I don't have to post as much. But I post a little bit, and just from the little bit of me posting, I went to college, and I have a lot of friends that are in corporate jobs, and I was able to raise money just from those friends that follow me on social media. So the times that I do post, they reach out, they're curious, they want to buy their rental property, they're asking questions about investing, and just being open to answering those questions that they have for you, it goes a long way, because even if they're not looking to invest right then and there, because I know a lot of people that look to raise money, they don't follow up. Like, so if someone asks you a question about investing, they're telling you what their goals are and what they want to accomplish, and you're answering those questions, you're giving them value, and then you don't follow up the next month, or you don't follow up 3 months down the line, and also explain it to them what you're looking for. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get what you're looking for. So what I do is I have a lot of people that reach out to me and ask those questions, and I always try to make sure that I explain to them what I'm looking for, whether it's family members, whether it's people from college, whether it's just other investors and wholesalers and things, and I make sure that I follow up and be genuine about adding value to them, because a lot of people in this business, they just reach out to you and just try to use you. And to things like that, but I try to make sure that I add value to them, and then I follow up and just make sure that they're trying to accomplish what they're looking to accomplish. And then for us, we were able to hire people from social media. We were able to find contractors for projects. We were able to raise money like we talked about, and a lot of different things. So I think even for someone like me, I kind of post like Fernando, but he does it way more than me. And I'm a family man, so I post a lot about my kids and my wife and stuff like that. I post a little bit about real estate, but Aria got me posting more about real estate, so thank you, Aria. But yeah, so I'm trying to get better at that. But I think overall, just from a business perspective, it's just super important that you're putting yourself out there and you're looking to add value to other people. Instead of just trying to get what you're looking for. You're looking for ways to add value to them, giving them, sharing with them your experience, sharing with them. I share with a lot of people how we run our cold calling, our SMS messaging and stuff like that, and especially a lot of new people. So we get a lot of wholesalers that reach out to us and send us deals and things like that, and a lot of agents that reach out to us and send us deals and things like that, just from me adding value, or us adding value to them, and what type of expectations that they're looking to get from a business standpoint. So.
Yeah, and I want to add to that because, I was having a conversation about adding value, right? And a lot of us as business owners, and a lot of us as entrepreneurs and people that, just want to excel in our craft, we tend to think that we need to hold back all the sauce, right? Like, what's our secret sauce? We need to hold it down. Like, we need to keep, the family recipe in-house. And I was having a conversation with this guy, multi-millionaire, like, time and time over. And he's actually landed on a couple of deals of ours. And I'm asking him, and I asked him, I said, you know, I just feel like when I post and I teach people about the 70% rule, or I do this or that, I feel like I'm giving too much value. And he looked at me in the eye. He said, Hector, the guys that make it like big, and the guys that really do really well, they focus on one thing. And here's the thing: they add value. It's like they're not worried about somebody else recreating what they did. Like they just care about adding value. And when I grabbed a hold of that piece of advice, I was like, man, that's so true. Because the reality is when you're posting or you're showing somebody something or you're adding value to them, the reality is 90%, I'd say 95% of those people are not going to implement what you teach them anyway. So you might have that 5% that do, but the reality is just add value to people. The reason we're doing this meetup is to add value to the community of real estate investors, real estate agents, lenders, contractors alike, so that when we add value, there's going to be synergies that happen. And then, I mean, I've met a lot of you. Some of you guys here in this room have sent me deals. We've raised capital together. We've done deals together. I mean, Aria is a perfect example of that. And that's just it, like adding value. So awesome. Let's move into a little bit of a Q&A session here. Again, we're talking about marketing. We're talking about social media. But I want to open up. These guys have been in real estate for quite some time. He's worked with some of the top dogs in real estate. So we want to answer any questions you may have in regards to real estate and anything else. Go ahead.
Can I just piggyback something up from you're talking about? Something before we get into that, I just want to. By the way, I did hire Daniel because of social media. He detailed a card. He detailed a card and
crystal clean. Let's go.
Good. It was good. So again,
on social media,
when somebody asked me about detailing, he was the only one I can think of. So that's the one I hired. But going back to what you were saying is about
and he's wearing his shirt tonight. Are you wearing your shirt?
Yep.
Brandon, come on, man.
There you go. Let's go. So speaking about adding value, or you worried about teaching people stuff. When it comes down to it, like there's so many, like you can think of Nike, right? Everybody makes running shoes, but why do you buy the Nike? Is because of the story behind Nike, or the branding of the status or the thing that they have built. And something that I've shifted, you can say, in the last few months is just telling those stories. Like for example, if you notice a lot of my recent content, it's not doing as big numbers as the other stuff that I was posting doing, but it's telling better stories about what I'm doing. And people are connecting with that. Like, for example, I'm having buyers come to me that they try to buy a house last year. They say, I had an agent, but I see your stuff, and you actually are getting people homes. You are actually winning in multiple offers. The last video that I posted, it was about winning in multiple offers and how we did that. And, I'm basically telling everybody, like, what I was doing, but because of that, I'm getting people to call me and say, hey, by the way, I'm working with somebody else, but they're not doing what you're doing. We may be even doing the same thing, but they're just seeing my stuff, and I'm just telling the stories that are happening, and people are connecting with that. And when people connect with that at that level, it's going to be hard for them to go with anybody else, or you lose your sauce or whatever. Is because people started working with you because they saw your value from day one. So that's, to kind of piggyback about what you were saying.
Yeah, that's so good, man. And, there's quite a different range of ages here. And, it makes me think of, like, it really doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. Like, just post content. If you're struggling with creating content, just think about what Vince said, what Andrew said, what Fernando said. Like, how can I add value to someone's life today? How can I add value? Whether that's like how to make the best cup of coffee in the morning, post about that. You'll impact somebody in some way. But really think, how can I add value? That's your number one content creation strategy that you can implement today. And there's different people with different walks of life here, and the reality is, it's like we all need to learn from each other. Everybody needs to learn something from you, and I just encourage you, like, just don't don't post just once in a while. Post all the time. And I guarantee you're going to see results. If you're a wholesaler here, add value to another wholesaler. Don't worry about it. If they take your deal, there's, I believe in sowing and reaping. Like, it'll come back to you. Don't worry. All right? Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I have a lot, but we gotta get to questions.
No, go ahead. You want to share something else?
No, go ahead. We can go to the question.
All right, so I want to bring Arya back up here. Come grab a chair, buddy, and he's going to join us for this Q&A. But, let's open it up, man. Who's got a question for these gentlemen up here, for myself? We love to just have an interactive time right now and just talk. So who's going to break the ice? Arya, you want to break the ice? With a question?
Well, if I start talking, I'm not going to stop. Well, I just want to say, first thing, I have not seen you that animated since I was at your wedding.
Okay.
I was not at his wedding, guys. I'm just kidding.
I
But
drank a cup of coffee earlier.
yeah, I thought we needed double shots of cappuccino to get that out of you, but that was good. That was great.
There you have it.
So guys, what can we get started, guys? We've got social media and marketing here. We've got flipping here. We've got brokerage here. I'm kind of just a motivational guy. I'm joking.
He's gonna be the MC.
But if we could just have anyone hand up and you guys can stand and
My question is for Andrew. How would I get started with, I don't have any money, to speak straight up. So you're talking about some high-level players that you work with, but those things you're talking about, I could implement those right away on my own, right? So how would I do it? Start following you and learn the tips and things like that? Or how would you
Definitely follow
recommend I
him.
start?
Yeah, I mean, even if you got $5, $10 a day of a budget, you could strike gold and hit something. It may take longer. Budget only accelerates results. So the more you spend, the faster you get the results. But if you put up $5, $10 a day, you could slowly get results and then just put that money back in the ads. Just keep reinvesting it. So, you could go online and literally type in how to run a YouTube ad, how to run a Facebook ad, hundreds of free videos, put up a video, put up a photo, whatever, $5, $10 a day, you could get a deal. If you call the lead and follow up and, on them, you could get one deal. I mean, one assignment could be 10, 15, 20K. That could be a budget for months. And just put it back into the ads.
Yeah, just to follow up on that question, what are some things that someone who's just getting started in running ads, what should they have in place before they start running ads? Should they have a website? Should they have at least a Instagram profile? What are some of those things that they should have in place before that?
I think the biggest one is you could get a basic website, get some sort of CRM where you can text people, call people, follow up with them. Because if you have the leads and you don't, if you try to do all of yourself, you're going to go crazy. So
What do you recommend? I'm going to interrupt here. What do you recommend? Somebody doesn't have a website. What's the best free tool that they can use today?
I mean, Carrot's a great platform.
For wholesalers?
Yeah, you'll do blogs and stuff. I mean, any website, you can search free website, whatever. At the end of the day,
It doesn't matter.
If someone's motivated, they'll fill out the form. Just, the biggest thing is just make sure they get called and followed up with. If you want an entry-level CRM, Go High Level. It's called Go High Level if you Google it. It's $100 a month. You can do automatic texting, calling, voicemail drops. You can do all that.
And this is for any business, really. Wholesaling, real estate, any other business. What's it called again?
It's called Go High Level.
Go High Level.
$100 a month. And then that way when a lead comes in, they get a text automatically. And then,
That's crazy.
again, just put money back into building that up. But I think the biggest thing is having a system in place to call that lead right away.
What about you, Fernando? What would you answer that? No money, just getting started. He's also a realtor, by the way.
Okay, it's easy. Just telling people stories. If you've helped anybody out, if you had a closing,
that's
reaching
good.
out to them, and then just say, hey, by the way, we closed this house. Can you make a quick little video review about us? Can you just tell people about us? That's gonna help me out a lot.
Come on, give it
There
up,
you go.
man. Let's go.
And then I would tell you this. There's that whole phrase, fake it till you make it stuff. There's as far as a real estate agent, you have access to every listing. When you go out, you can post listings. You can talk to people. Talk to other agents. Hardly anybody's gonna get mad at you if you create content around a listing because you're gonna help them sell the house. So especially if you find houses that haven't, they've been on the market for over 60 days, those are good agents to reach out to because they're freaking out because they're about to expire and they're trying to sell it. If you reach out to them and say, hey, can I host an open house? Can I, can I make content around your house? Can I make a video about your listing, or can we do something? The thing is, you just want to, real estate is a contact sport and you want to talk to as many people as possible.
Come on.
And the easiest way to do it is through social media. I mean, I was looking at the views that I was getting on TikTok is about 2 million views a week. And I can't talk to 2 million people every day. It's impossible. So the thing is just putting yourself out there and actually showing people what you're doing. Even if you're not even showing a house, you can just say like, hey, look, let me show you this house. And you can just go out and record it. And you can do so many things. And I get a lot of people like sliding up if I find something quirky about a house. And I just kind of say like, hey, this house kind of sucks because of this. Or this is the reason why this house not whatever. You can create so many things. And if people are following you, and then you just have to figure out where people are seeing your stuff more. If you have your people on Facebook, then post it on Facebook. And the thing that I did in the beginning is it's free. I got my phone book. I literally went through my contacts and started from A to Z. And I literally called everybody and told them I was a real estate agent. And my script for the people that I didn't know who they were, because I had a ton of those. I had like a Mike. And I had no idea who Mike was. So I would call him and say like, hey, Mike, this is Fernando. This is weird. I'm updating my phone book. I don't know how I got your number, but I know we've met. By the way, I'm in real estate. How do I know you? And sometimes when people would say, oh, yeah, we met at so-and-so's party, or they would tell you, oh.
At the taco shop.
Yeah,
Come
there,
on, let's
or
go.
at a meetup or whatever. And then you just ask them the questions that you want to be asked. So you say, oh, by the way, yeah, I'm in real estate. What do you do? We must have had a good time because I obviously got your number. I'm like that, or you're very hot, or what, come up with anything. Or you can say like, you must be a very good looking dude or something. People like to get compliments.
Come on, Manny.
So I would say start that way. And my first deal came like that. I literally called, and it was this kid that I knew that I went to church with a long time ago. And he was like, you know what? I have been thinking about buying a house. I'm glad you got your license. Let's do it. You see what I'm saying? So you just never know who you're going to come across, but you can't hide in your room and you can't hide in your house and not do anything. You just got to put yourself out there and talk to as many people as you can. And you don't need to spend money in the beginning. You just have to go out and talk to people. There's an agent in my office that he did like almost 90 deals by himself, solo agent, and he carries 10 business cards every morning. And his goal by the end of the day is to come home with no business cards. You see what I'm saying? And that's how he's doing so much. And this is solo agent, no admin, no nothing, over 90 deals last year. And he sold like, I want to say like 60 something million, 70 million. And this is like his second or third year in the business. So it's just talking to as many people as you can and talking to a lot of agents. I would even say, is talk to a lot of luxury agents too, because they referred all those small little deals because they don't like to work those. So I would even say that.
Yeah, and that taco shop story is actually real. It's a real story. I was eating tacos with my family, and I saw a guy on he was eating his tacos, and probably carne asada, something like that. And I saw he was wearing a shirt, and it said, I think Keller Williams or something, I'm in real estate, I live and die by deals. So I went up to him, I said, hey man, I know you're eating your tacos peacefully, but let me just introduce myself. My name is Hector. I'm a real estate investor. We were in Smyrna, La Villa. If you're looking for the best tacos in Atlanta, shout out to La Villa. But anyway, we were there. I told him about this deal, about what I did. Literally a week later, I got a deal from this guy in Smyrna, a duplex. And it was just because I approached them and said, hey, I'm going to be bold. I'm not going to care what people think, and just introduce myself. I did that at Panera Bread one time, and same thing happened. So it's just putting yourself out there. So look at the person next to you and tell them, who cares? Tell them, go ahead and look at the person next to you, who cares? Who cares what people think, right? Like, are you about your business or are you not? Period. All right. Go ahead, Andrew.
Here's another thing you do too. If you're trying to get more listings, I mean, real estate's just a relationship game. Go do open houses for other agents. It's a win-win for everyone. You're going to help the agent. You'll build a relationship with them. They can refer you stuff down the line. But you're also building relationships with the people that are going to these houses. So that's not a good fit for them. That could be a client of yours down the road. And that's free. And there's a ton of properties you could do that on for free. You just go literally get a phone book, call every agent, say, hey, can I do an open house for you on this date? Most of the time, they're going to say yes. And you'll build a relationship with them. You'll also build a relationship and meet a bunch of different people who are buying completely free. And like, you could go tonight, text all these people. Most of the time, they're going to say yes.
Same thing with wholesalers. Like, offer to take pictures for an investor. Do little things that add value, and I guarantee you're going to get a deal. Let's move on to the next question. Who's got a question? Raise your hand. Yes.
Yeah, I think it'll be a combination of both, but I think I always touch on this is whichever one you can do consistently. It's all about consistency. So if you can do shorts consistently and pump out that content that consistent and get enough people to see, get enough eyes to see that, then I think that would be the better format. And I think walking a property and like showing a property on your story and making some content off of that always works, because people start asking questions and stuff like that. Like I do this thing where if I go to a property and I see a crappy pool or something, I take a picture of the pool and I say, how much do you guys think this pool will cost to renovate it or something like that? And you get a lot of engagement just from that, and then you can start having conversations with those people about stuff that you're doing. So.
Yeah, and for me, raising capital, it's about consistency for sure. But I would just ask the question, like, just post a video of yourself being recorded and say, hey, just started flipping. I don't know what business line you're in, but I'm looking to raise capital. DM me the word capital and let's have a conversation. You'd be surprised how many people actually respond. But what has worked for me personally in our business is just literally walking the properties and actually being visible, like my face. Because a lot of people make this mistake where they'll just put a picture of themselves. And guys, pictures are outdated. Like, you need to be doing videos. People want to see you. People want to hear you. And their attention span is like very, 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 very short nowadays. So like, you have to engage them with a hook. You have to say something that catches their attention right away. So it's like, I'm not going to come up with a hook right now, but I would just say, like, put your face and just say, look at the raise capitals. Here's the deal that I'm walking. I've gotten a lot of money raised just by me, walking a property that we're rehabbing at the moment, or walking another person's property, or whatever the case may be. So there's no right answer to that, in my opinion. It's just the consistency part.
I can add to that. I haven't raised money, but if I'm coming from somebody, if I'm going to give somebody money, I better trust them. You see what I'm saying? So if someone looks you up and your page is very inconsistent, it doesn't look like you're running a business, it's going to be hard for people to give you money, because they're going to say, I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 posts and they have nothing to do about raising capital. So what I would say is post your wins, educate people, post your wins, educate people, and just let people know what you do. So like, if you're going to be cold calling for business, record yourself calling people, even record a little bit of the phone call or whatever, and just say, hey, another day, here we go, trying to get deals or whatever. If people start seeing that a lot from you, they're going to notice, they're going to see you as a serious person, and then it's going to be easier for them to give you money.
By the way, what kind of, are you in flipping, or what are you raising capital for? Okay, so multifamily. So do you post about multifamily right now? Perfect. Yeah. So I think you just...
to
ask. And then another thing I would do is, I mean, you probably already do this now, but following people that are multifamily and going in their DMs and just striking up a conversation and seeing what can come out of that.
I have two things on that. So one, the social media thing's huge. So I had some extra capital that I wanted to invest. I didn't want to put in a savings account. And I had a lot of different people I was talking to. I ended up giving it to Hector and Vince just because I always see Hector and Vince on Instagram showing them completing flips. And it's just the frequency of it. And then when you asked, I was ready to send the wire right away because I saw consistently them doing the deals. I've seen them do it for a year plus, but I wasn't ready to actually send the wire until a year later. So consistently doing it is huge. And then on the multifamily side, we run ads for it. It's a little more complex because there's SEC, but the biggest thing you could post organically on Instagram and all that is you need to talk about the value of money going down. So like post content about the return on it. Like that's why the reason why I didn't deploy in a savings account or anything else, I could get way more in real estate. So everything you need to post is, well, cool, the Feds just announced a new T-bond that's 5%. Well, you could get 15, 20% over a 5-year period in a multifamily property. So every time you post, don't just show the property, but show the return, because if someone comes on some money, they're going to just go to the first thing they see. And most of the time it's a high yield savings account or T-bond or whatever. So just always show the potential return. Now don't Ponzi scheme in and say 500% return, but just say, your money's safer in this area is growing. We already have tenants lined up. That to a potential investor says, okay, like I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, it's the education portion, I think, and it's just you got to create content that is shareable, right? A lot of people are not going to share your picture of your food, right? Like you're going to have to create content that is shareable. What other questions do we have? We're running out of time. Jerome, go ahead. Percentage-wise? Like percentage-wise? Well, the industry standard is like 12 to 15%. Yeah. We try to go for that, but if we're in serious need, we go up to 18%. Anybody else? Yes. With me, personally? What kind of partnership I would ask first? So it would be probably either money, or are we JVing to flip, wholesaling a deal? Money. Have a conversation with Vince, and he can he'll talk to you about that privately. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it just depends on what we have going on right now and how many deals we have. You know what I mean? At one point or another, we were running, I think, 30 projects, like construction projects. So there was a lot of opportunity there because there's a lot of money that we needed. But now we're scaling back some, doing better flips. So instead of making 30, 40K on a deal, we are aiming for that 6-figure return kind of deal and doing a lot less of them. So that's kind of what we're doing now. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Stacy Wyatt. By the way, follow this guy. This guy is a legend.
Yeah, he is.
I'm serious. Like, this guy posts on social media. He's done flipping. He's a broker. Like, this guy's the man. Go ahead, Stacy.
Quick comment, frequency. Follow Fernando. I've never seen anybody more consistent on posting videos every single day and grew a massive following. So if you're an agent investor, like, frequency is huge. So, quick question for Andrew. So, YouTube, what does your funnel look like after you're hitting these ads? Is it just a simple landing page? Is there some follow-up? Then are you retargeting? Can you walk through just real quick what your funnel looks like?
Yeah, I'll give like a kind of real quick rundown. So they see the ad, they click. The landing page, you don't want to send them to like a carrot site where there's like a huge wall of text. Take the main objections people have on the phone, put those on the landing page. Very simple. You want to split the landing page into 2 parts. So the first form, like when they go to the thing, there should be a form where they enter their address, should autocomplete. So at minimum, if they don't fill out the full form, you could skip trace, still get that lead. They fill out the form, go to the next page, full form with more info, and then they press go, and then ideally they're getting a call back within 5 minutes.
Did that answer your question?
It depends on how much like budget you have to spend. I wouldn't worry about retargeting as much as just getting people to fill out a form and then calling them. Because once you have them in your CRM, it's free to follow up. With retargeting, you just got to pay for that person over and over again. So just get that address, skip trace it, call them if it's the right person, boom. Follow up with them until they call the police, whatever it takes. Greatest success where? Usually we work more, if we work in agents, we try to go to the brokerage level because then you can have multiple agents running at the same time, pushing the same message. But it works for agents too. Like if you're good on camera, it's all about eyeballs. Whatever you search on Google, you're going to see on YouTube. So it works across the board and it's super effective, especially now. You could take like the vertical videos you're doing on Instagram, run them as YouTube short ads. And what's cool is when they see an ad, literally fills up the full screen with your ad. And then you can just tap on it. You can have a click to call button so they could call right away, a form on the ad that pre-fills all their information. So there's a lot of different things you can do with YouTube right now. And they're leaning more into that, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the market. They see like Google's incentivized for you to spend money. So you have to make money. So they add all this stuff in to make it easier for you to make money.
Yes, sir.
So I would use Carrot. Carrot's a great tool for like your base website. They have automatic blogs, and it's I think it's just a one-time monthly fee. There's a lot of tools built into it. Now, if you're running specific campaigns, you want to get a landing page that's very simple and clear to the point. It'd be the same as getting on a sales call and then reading a novel. Because when they go to the page, they see all this information, which is great for SEO, but it's not good for converting someone cold. So just, oh, God. So
Are you an investor or an agent? Both. Okay. Okay.
So those you would want to pretty much design from the base up and build custom. We could show you some of like the ways we do it if you come to me after. But usually you want those to be like load super fast, super straight to the point. And on the slides too, if you scan that QR code or I could give it to you, it kind of gives some highlights, like exact things to add to that page that you could go implement.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you guys mix personal and business content on your postings on social media?
I'll answer that. If I think I was forced to start a business account because I started a team. But if I didn't have a team, I wouldn't have a business account because the majority of the people that are in my database follow me. And if I try to open up another account, I would say the percentage of people who are going to follow it are a lot less. So I would say start with your personal and just be yourself, show everything you do, and then obviously throw some business in there all the time. But you don't want it to become, this is the thing too. Okay, so something that I've learned, and Andrew is here, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong, is if you get spammy where you're posting too much and people are skipping you, you're telling the algorithm, don't show me this guy's stuff because I always skip it. You see what I'm saying? So what you want to do is if you become like, you're all about real estate, eventually like it gets tiring. Like I followed a guide on TikTok the other day about branding. He had a series of just talking about branding. I love his content, but it's spammy now and I skip him because it was too much. He was posting way too much. He had a series that was good and I actually saved the videos to my phone because I need to go back and watch them. But now he was just showing up so much that I kept skipping him because I'm like, I got what I needed type of stuff. So you don't want to post too much to the point where people skip you so much, but you want to do it enough to where they see you all the time. And finding that balance, you would only know it until you start posting. And that's good.
I'll post cool music, and somebody will come check out this band or something, and they go, oh man, he does real estate. Okay, man, he likes this band or whatever. And it's kind of like bring them in, but then give them a real.
Correct. You just gotta be open to who you are and what you do. For example, like, you you can look at the biggest celebrities. You know, I'm sure LeBron James has all these accounts, but his main account is his personal account that he uses for everything. You see what I'm saying? And I think we get caught up too much on the whole business side. I think if you are running a business and you're, you know, about running a big business, yeah, you should start that separately and do your whole business thing separated. But if you're just early investor, early agent, or someone who's getting to real estate, you start posting on your personal and then graduate to a business page.
It's great advice.
Yeah,
Great advice.
Yeah, you have to do both. Like the best brand is your personal brand. Like humans don't make really big decisions to non-humans. Like you're not going to go sell your house to a robot. So like, especially when it comes to raising capital too, they're not sending a wire transfer to a company. They're sending it to a person they built a relationship with. It's like any client we work with, we always say you have to build a personal brand and be a human. It's like you have to be able to connect. Like if you went to the doctor's office and something really bad happened and they just sent you an email, it would feel really cold and weird. And it's the same with everything. So like even me, like they're not hiring my agency, right, customer? They're working with me because we built that relationship. So you have to have both. And I wouldn't even worry about like business or personal. I think it's, again, frequency. Just, you know, you want people to connect with who you are because you could scale yourself. You can't scale an image of yourself.
You guys know this, Fernando or Andrew. Is there a secret amount of times to post based on y'all's experience working with people with massive followings? No? Frequency?
Trial and error.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't have millions of followers, but I think I have enough to say, like, it's just a matter of just doing. And you know when you post something and it gets no interactions, you're like, well, no one likes this, I shouldn't post this. You see what I'm saying? Like, but then you like, I did a post, I think, on Tuesday. Man, it was about Martin biscuits. I went to Martin's. You know, we all know Martin's. And my personal opinion is Martin's has the best biscuits, period. And that's just me. It's polarizing, right? Some people are going to say Chick-fil-A has the best biscuits. And I know that. And I know people are going to be upset that I'm saying that. But I'm not being political. I'm not attacking anybody. It's just my personal opinion. It's like, hey, by the way, check this out. And I even pulled like the chicken on my face and showed it. You guys probably saw it. I was like, look how big the chicken is compared to Chick-fil-A's chicken. I'm like, go treat yourself. I had so many reactions on my DMs for people just laughing, like, oh my God, that's so funny. People saying like, yeah, I love that place. I don't know why people even go to Chick-fil-A. And then there's the other people. It's like, no, I will right and die, Chick-fil-A. The thing is, you just want to get in front of people. You want them to interact with you. And if you're posting something and no one cares, like you should maybe not even post that. Move on to something else. Figure out where you're getting a lot of interactions. See, and I would say don't go too crazy to where you're talking about politics or you're doing this or taking sides on stuff. Everybody eats food. Everybody has opinions about food. That's why I love posting about food, because I can say like, this is my favorite thing. No one's going to get mad at it. You know what I'm saying? But just doing things like that to kind of give people a reason to send you a message or send you a DM or even do polls. Like something we do on our Teams page a lot is polls. It's like, do you guys like this? So it's just getting as many people to interact with you as possible. It may take a whole bunch of posting in the beginning, and then you may have to lay it back some. But it's just a matter of just doing and doing and doing.
But again, the mindset is don't get discouraged when you don't get any likes, right? Don't get discouraged and not just post because you didn't get any activity in that one post. Any final questions? We're going to wrap up here soon, but I want to give a couple questions. Zach? Find a mentor. Find a mentor and ask 1,000 questions every single day. Would have saved me a lot of money and time.
And you don't have to pay for them. You can just do stuff for them. You can help them out.
Add value.
You got value. Like if you don't have the funds, or you may have the funds to hire somebody, pay for a mentor. But if you don't, do stuff for them. Say, hey man, I have 4 hours on Saturday. How can I help you? Can I help you make calls? Can I help you do this?
Dude, I got a guy back there. Dimitri, raise your hand. So I met Dimitri at another networking event in Vegas, actually. And this guy comes into the office 2 to 3 times a week for free. I don't pay him. And he's literally working like commission-based because he wants to get into real estate. And we had a conversation, and the guy's like hungry for his first deal, and he's after it. That's the kind of hunger you need. And I mean, he's adding value to me, so he's in the office, so he's asking me 1,000 questions, and I'm responding to them. I'm there, I'm available, but he's adding value to me. So as an investor, you know, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna add value to him. So I'd say find a mentor. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what you're looking to accomplish, whether it's your first 90 days or your first year in real estate. You have to nail it down to that and figure out. Then you can start figuring out the proper steps of what you want to do. A lot of people get into real estate and try to do flipping, try to do wholesaling, try to do rentals and all those type of things, and they end up doing nothing because it's just too much. So you need to figure out what do you really want to do. If you want to wholesale, which is what a lot of people would say is the foundation of real estate, finding good deals, then you want to figure out what strategy is going to bring in those opportunities for you to potentially wholesale.
Yeah, great advice. Pick one lane first and just go for it. All right, two more questions, and then we're gonna wrap up. Anybody else have a question? Yes.
My wife and I were investors. We started flipping houses. We've done a couple, but I know you guys said you flip. Do you also do rentals as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we're trying to get into like the multifamily commercial space and stuff, but the cash flow isn't really there like we want it to be because flipping brings you money quicker. So we're trying to figure out what you guys prefer and why.
What do we prefer? I mean, it depends, in my opinion, on what your current need is, right? So, like, if your current need is cash, wholesale, right? Because if you need $10K in 30 days, you could do that in wholesaling. If you got a little bit more time horizon, you can wait 4 months to flip a house and make 50 grand. You could do that. So it just depends on what your current need is. What we like, I mean, we just kind of go with the wave of what's happening. Last year we did a mixture of both because the market was hot. We flipped a lot of houses because they were selling just very quickly. But we also did some wholesaling. We had a longer time horizon last year. Right now we're trying to do less flips because we know the market is shaky, but we're still wholesaling because we know we need cash. So it's just really based on a need factor, I would say.
And it also factors into the resources that you have or the resources that you will get, like the people that you're networking with and communicating with, how much capital you have, especially when you're looking at weighing either flipping or going into multifamily. That's totally different, two totally different things, and multifamily requires a lot of capital. So you had to start thinking about, like, are you going to do it with partners and stuff like that? Whereas flipping, you have to have contractors, you have to have lenders and stuff like that. It's on a much smaller scale, but it's still a lot of resources. So it all depends on what resources you have or what resources you're looking to get to make the goals that you're trying to accomplish happen.
Yeah, so really quick just on multifamily. I'm in a multifamily mastermind with Ed Bolden. For anyone who doesn't know who he is, he's the owner of Bolden Capital. He owns about 613 units in Metro Atlanta, and he's the largest black multifamily landlord here. Multifamily is great because I think if you're going to do anything, especially if we're talking real estate, you should go bigger. Like, think bigger. That's excellent. But it is a big player game, right? So instead of that 20% that you would bring, for a single family property, if you evaluate that for like a 22 unit apartment complex that's worth $4 million, you see how you have to bring $600,000 to go to the table. And then if you want to include your soft costs too, which are generally like your appraisal, survey, title insurance, because title insurance and stuff, it's not a couple $1,000. Like, it's expensive for multifamily, right? So you have to factor all that in. Total, you may need to bring $800,000 to the table to buy a $4.5 million building. And it's good to go bigger because ideally there's a strategy when it comes to multifamily too. Do you have millions of dollars to buy A-class units in Buckhead or Sandy Springs, or do you want to buy C-class units in Jonesboro, Ellenwood, and East Point and College Park, right? There's value there because what's the point of real estate, right? We talk about adding value. You take a 1970s property that has, popcorn ceiling, old roof, old wallpaper, and you make it look nice, new granite, stainless steel appliances like 2022. You do the same thing with C class, like a 24-unit apartment complex. If all of those are generating you $1,350 a month, you can see how now you have forever cash flow. But then you also have to think about the refinance, right? So if you buy a $4.5 million building, and in 2 years after you've stabilized the asset, you've raised rents, you've occupied it high, and now if you want to make an exit or you want to just refinance and hold the property, that $4.5 million building is now worth 8.2, right? 80% of that, a lender's going to give you what? $2 million. So multifamily is definitely a great, great game. It's just a big player game. So you're either going to have to raise the capital, or you're going to have to, get your own capital and then actually be in the knit grounds of being an actual operator, right? So are you going to be going out to that property, making sure that C-class tenants are not throwing trash around the property and, lowering its value? Are you going to go and evict tenants that have unpaid balances and haven't been paying their rent for 3 months? That's the game of C-class, right? You actually have to be involved. But again, it can make you extremely wealthy because Ed Bolden, his 600 units, the average cash flow that generates him per unit is about $350. You times that by 613, that's a lot of money per month. And the buildings are worth $80 million total. So he has $80 million assets under management and he's 33. So multifamily is a great game. I think you should think big. You just have to be strategic, and that's something where you really want to get a mentor, because the worst thing is to buy an asset that expensive and have it taken away from you or lose money.
And it goes back to, the mentorship thing, right? He's part of the mastermind that exclusively talks about multifamily. So again, it goes back to your goals and what you guys want to do as a family and what kind of lifestyle you want to create. At the end of the day, me and Vince, we have a lifestyle that we want to really focus on our family, and we want to clock out at 5 o'clock and be off on the weekends, right? This is a young guy, 25 years old, doesn't have kids. He has 2 dogs. He can work a little more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's all based on your goals and where you're trying to go. So final question, and then I want to give us time to network. This is why we're here, and we need to meet each other. So we're gonna close it after this question. But is there anybody else that wants to ask a question? Make it a good one. Jerome, this has got to be a good one. Yeah, it's super. We met at a mastermind. There's so many relationships that just happen at events like this. It's just invaluable. And I think, we're going to do it again next month. And we're actually talking about multifamily next month. And we're going to bring some guys that are really big in that space, and you want to be here. But I think at the end of the day, it's networking equals your net worth. And that's a common saying in this industry. And I think it's absolutely true. So, guys, yeah.
I believe, Doug, you wanted to speak. Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
That's right. If you guys have any questions, real estate related, you guys are looking for properties, you guys want to sell a property, you're looking for strategic partners, please talk to Doug. Please talk to Lisa. These guys have been just super generous with us with their time. And obviously we're here because of them. So please introduce yourselves to them, and, huge shout out to them. I'll say this, man, you look for people in your circle that understand your vision. Right. So if you're able to share your vision with people and they can catch on to that, you guys will go far together. And I think that's what, Doug and I really connected, because we understand where we're going and we're playing the long game. And I think you need to find people like that. So any final comments, you guys, on anything that you want to share or add to the audience?
If you're starting out, you're trying to do wholesaling or anything like that, a good advice I can give you is if you haven't made a ton of money yet, get your real estate license, because if you're cold calling people every day or getting leads, and a lot of those people you end up not, doing a deal with because you're too far away on price, instead of letting it go, you can just refer it out to an agent and make 25% of the commission, 30%. So like the average price of a house in Atlanta is $400,000. That's $12,000. What is 25% of $4? That's $4,000 that you could potentially make if you're too far apart with somebody and you can't buy it because the numbers don't make sense, and they're just going to go with the real estate agent. You can just capture that lead. You don't have to work it at all. You just send it to a realtor, you get a referral fee, and that's an easy way to make money on deals that you were just going to let go of anyways. So
Yeah, excellent advice.